All right, you guys, welcome to Writer's Workshop from a Distance. Today, I'm going to do a little refresher on our taking notes on our animal chart and then starting to work on our book with our writing paper, okay? So today for Writer's Workshop, I've decided that I'm going to do a little bit of research on bears. So I got my TV over here. I pulled up Disney Nature Bears, and so I'm gonna watch this video and I'm gonna take notes while I'm watching the video, okay? So I'm not just gonna put it on and chill out on the couch and go to sleep. Nope, I'm gonna put it on and I'm gonna have my graphic organizer out in front of me and I'm gonna be writing and taking notes the whole time. When I hear something about diet, remember, diet is what does the animal eat? Habitat, where does the animal live? Family, do they live by themselves? Do they live in groups? And any interesting facts I hear, I'm going to write them down as well. Now, if you don't have a printer at home, then you don't have to print out the graphic organizer. Just make a page, like sit down with one page in front of you and draw boxes that say diet, habitat, interesting fact, and family. Or just get different pieces of paper and use those in front of you. Write diet on one, family, habitat, interesting fact. There's no reason to print. If you don't have a printer, don't worry about it. Just make your own graphic organizer, okay? So right at the very beginning of the movie of the Disney Nature Bears movie, it says that a mama bear is living with her cubs. So I'm gonna go ahead on the family section of my graphic organizer and write mom. And then I'm gonna remember to use that space with my finger and k-a-b-s. So it looks to me like the mom and the cubs live together. So I'm gonna write that on my organizer because that's the first thing that I heard and I'm taking notes.
Sky worked hard last summer, eating over 90 pounds of fish a day to store up enough fat to last.
Did you guys hear that? It said Sky worked hard this year, eating up to 90 pounds of fish a day. Where can I write that? Yes, on my diet section of my organizer. So I'm gonna go ahead and write fish. Stretching that word out while I'm still watching.
She hopes that the salmon will be plentiful this summer.
Ooh, I even heard them say salmon. So I'm going to specify that fish, and then I'm going to write salmon. If my mom or dad was here, I could ask them to help me spell some of these words or help me look up how to spell some of these words on my organizer. All right, so I just finished the Disney Nature movie Bears, and I pretty much filled up my organizer. So in the diet spot, I put fish, salmon, some berries. It was really cool in the movie. They actually showed the bears catching the salmon. And then I can remember that for my writing. And then for habitat, I put forest, trees, cave. I looked it up and it was filmed in Alaska. So I put that Alaska as the habitat. An interesting fact, they travel a lot. And the family in the movie was the mom and the cubs, but I didn't really see any other families. So I feel like the mom is with the cubs until they grow up, and then the cubs go and they have their own cubs, or if they're a boy bear, then they probably live by themselves. All right, I finished up my organizer. The last spot that we didn't get to in class is this spot in the middle here where an animal diagram goes. So if you remember, we all worked on drawing a cheetah diagram for our All About Cheetah books. In this spot, I'm going to look up on my computer or my tablet, or just go back to the movie, a picture of a brown bear, and I'm gonna draw that with my crayons in that spot so that I'm completely ready to start writing. All right, so I'm completely ready to start my introduction on this page. Remember in class we wrote introduction at the top, and I bet mom and dad can help you write introduction on your page in a big marker or something up at the top so that you can see it. And then you guys got this if you worked on the packet that they sent home over the break, if you go down to the bottom of the page and you put a little number 1, if you want to at the end write a table of contents, then you'll know that that introduction is your first page to go in your table of contents. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start writing my introduction. Now remember, this is where you're introducing your book to a reader. So I'm going to write, I'm going to tell them what animal I'm writing about. So I'm going to start by writing this is, I'm making sure that I leave that space between my words. I'm making sure that I'm stretching my words out. I'm making sure that I go all the way down on the lines and that I know where my words go. This is my book about bears. And since that's one sentence, what do I need at the end of the sentence? A period. Awesome. So I'm going to go back and remember, as a writer, I need to go back and reread my sentence to make sure that I can read it, to make sure that it makes sense. This is my book about bears. Awesome. That's really all I need for an introduction. Then I'm going to go on and write a page about diet, habitat, family, and then what my favorite page to put at the end is that interesting fact page. Remember, when we were talking about it, our introduction, now really, that really is all I need to tell you to introduce the book to you. But remember, when we were talking about it at school, I said that an introduction is something that needs to reach out and grab you, right? It grabs the reader and it says, hey, you've got to read this awesome book, right? So in my introduction, I said, this is my book about bears. But does that reach out and grab you and say, hey, you've really got to read this book? No, I don't really think so. So remember in our cheetahs book when we wrote, cheetahs are really awesome. And we used something to try and say, hey, reader, you've got to read this book. So I can say, this is my book about bears. Bears are an awesome animal to learn more about. And then I can put my period there at the end. All right, now my introduction says, this is my book about bears. Bears are an awesome animal to learn more about. Whoa, do you feel like somebody reached out and said, hey, bears are an awesome animal to learn more about? You have got to read this book. If you do feel like that and you want to read more about my book about bears, then clap twice. I would love to read any of your books about animals that say, hey, you've got to read this book. The information in this book is really cool and really exciting. So remember, when you're writing your introduction, that is what it should include, okay? And then I will send you guys another video tomorrow writing another page of your book, and we can work on our All About Animal books this week. Have a good day.